session will first begin with some opening remarks, followed by the screening of a film titled I Want to Live On, the Untold Story on the Polygon. We will then go on to speech highlighting the humanitarian impact of nuclear weapons. The program will conclude with Q&A session, where I encourage all of you to ask thoughtful questions which will further deepen our reflection here today.
Thank you. I am pleased to welcome all of you, and especially pleased to welcome from ICAN for participation in this event organized by Center for International Security and Soka Gakkai International.
Today is the first public showing of the documentary I Want to Live On, the untold story of the propaganda created by CISP with the support of the SDI. It records the voices of victims of nuclear weapon testing, powerfully and effectively communicating the inhumanity and folly of nuclear weapons. I remember looking over the desolate vastness of the nuclear test site formerly known as Semipalatinsk. The shock of witnessing firsthand the terrible damage inflicted there is something I will never forget. Debate about nuclear weapons tend to revolve around deterrence theory and other questions of an abstract political nature. Against that backdrop, I think this documentary, which conveys the threat posed by nuclear weapons and the reality of the damage, can help in bring the focus back to lived realities and experiences of people. As such, I am confident that it will prove to be valuable educational tool.
This film became a reality because of the strong support from the Soka Gakkai International, and me, myself, and the operators, the staff of CISP, we traveled around the former Semipalatinsk Nuclear Test Site and visited several villages and interviewed people in first, second, and third generation. And this film is based on these interviews.
Там не жилька было, нас сгоняли туда всех, объявляли, вояки приезжали, и потом свист такой бой самолетом бросает эту бомбу или что-то.
Asıl bölümü kısmıydı, o poligonun avruunu verip жатыр. Өйткені ол кезде кереметтей жиі болды мына жамылғанға дейін. Ал жамылғаннан кейін екінші жылында әскерилер штаб жасап сонда тұрады. Жарыстар болып жатыр, сол жарыстардан.
Я была ученицей 1-2 класса. Перед началом взрывов нас, учеников...
Такой Курчатов, это закрытый город для военных. Так и предполагали, но никто не думал, что именно там находится монстр современности, это символ.
Пошли и случайно включили, взял аппаратуру, химические проверка радиации.
Халықтың түгел қарсы екен, түгел олай бар еді, әскерилер тұр екен, осылай басталды енді қозғалыстың алды. Бұл 9 жігіт арасында орта мектеп жүргізеді, холдан бастап кішкене таныстырып өтеді. Жаңағы форумдарға түрге қатыспек сенің қолдар. Мына сол кезде өткен жаңағы неден бір көрініс білесіздер. Совет одағы тарағаннан кейін түгел халқы совхозға тарады, елді ақша жоқ, жұмыс жоқ.
Он был военным, прошел войну в Афганистане, в Германии, и 58 лет от рака ушел. А рака от чего?
Вместо ушел рак кожи. И дали мне группу, и все. 3. Ну, на обследование документы отсылал.
Можно так головного мозга.
Бала кезімізден өте көп көрдім. Өзімізбен бірге оқыған жолдастарымыз, класстармен ауылдасып, балаларын түгел ауырып, аққан, әртүрлі көздері көрмей қалып, содан қайтыс болып жатты. Деді осы өміршінің райынан қайтыс болды. Шешем 70 жасында.
Хотя они сказали, что это шансы 50/50, он будет иметь то же самое заболевание.
Пустой звук.
Конечно, да, это самая большая боль. Задача государства это должна быть открытость. Я не знаю, по какой причине пытается утаить все эти сведения. Хотя, казалось бы, наоборот, пример с конкретными реальными цифрами, с конкретными реальными судьбами, он бы предостерег другие государства от разработок ядерного оружия, его испытаний и тем более применения.
Болашақ ұрпақ осы тарихты зерттеген осы документтерді кейін қарайды деп ойлаймын. Қаншама қиналған адамдардың өмір туралы айтылған жақсылық жасау үкіметтің қолында.
Да, я понимаю, что наше государство очень молодое. Да, оно будет всегда моложе меня. Я живу сейчас, и я хочу жить дальше.
Now, to make those stories even more real, I'd like to invite our next speaker, Algerim Yelgeldy. She was born in Semi City, former Semipalatinsk.
Я бы хотела выразить слова благодарности Министерству иностранных дел Казахстана, Soka Gakkai International, международной компании по запрету ядерного оружия ICAN и Центру международной безопасности и политики за возможность выступить сегодня на данном мероприятии.
Good afternoon, dear participants. I'm happy to welcome everyone here. I'm Algerim Yelgeldy, 35 years old. I'm from Kazakhstan, from Semipalatinsk City. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Kazakhstan, Soka Gakkai International, the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, and the Center for International Security and Policy for the opportunity to be here today.
С применением химических веществ из них 44 зарядами будет 10 тонн.
According to archival data, 473 nuclear explosions were conducted out at the Semipalatinsk Nuclear Test Site, including 90 in air, 26 on the ground, and 354 underground ones, covering an area of 18,500 square kilometers from 1949 to 1989.
Водные ресурсы. Но страшнее всего пострадали люди, проживающие в регионе.
But unfortunately for our country, all these 40 years of testing have not passed without a trace. The region's environment was irreparably damaged, animals and birds were affected, and water resources were polluted. But worst of all, people who lived in the region were affected. Of course, I didn't see many of these nuclear tests. When the last explosion was conducted in 1989, I was only 1 year old. And yet for many residents of our region, including me, the nuclear tests did not pass without a trace. I'm one of the third generation of people affected by nuclear weapons tests. In August 2015, doctors diagnosed me with enlarged lymph nodes in the left supraclavicular. For some time, an antibacterial treatment was used, but this did not give the necessary effect. My lymph continued to grow and my health worsened. I was constantly feeling myself unwell. My memory was very poor and I constantly felt disoriented. The disease affected me very much emotionally. It was very difficult to accept and realize that I was faced this disease. Later, I was sent to the Center of Nuclear Medicine and Oncology in Semipalatinsk, where I had an additional medical examination. As a result, the following diagnosis was given: the nodular sclerosis with lesions of the intrathoracic and supraclavicular lymph nodes. A couple of months ago, lymph nodes were also formed in the neck, abdominal cavity, and left lung. I have been fighting cancer for more than 8 years now. This disease may be treatable, but it doesn't come easily to me. Constant joint pain, swelling, constant weakness, dizziness, drowsiness. As a result of this disease, I have to limit myself in many ways. I cannot lift weights, do sport, sudden temperature changes are harmful. I cannot enjoy the sun like many ordinary people. But perhaps the most difficult thing is that I cannot have children. It is the great heartache for me not to be able to experience the joy of motherhood. But on the other hand, I understand that becoming a mom would put my children at risk of going through the same pain and suffering. It's very hard. My family and friends helped me to overcome all these challenges. I have a big family, my father, mother, brothers and a sister. My dad and mom gave me a lot of moral support. And later I met my spouse, who supports me and helped me all this time. It was his sensitivity, care and support that helped me overcome my depression and live a life again. Thanks to the doctors of the Center of Nuclear Medicine and Oncology who have been helping me to overcome this disease all these years. The problem of cancer is not new for me and my family. In the past, cancer was diagnosed by my aunt in 1999 and my mother in 2004. Of course, science still disputes the origins of cancer, but my personal opinion is that the growing number of cancer disease in my region is a direct influence from nuclear tests. Unfortunately, there are hundreds of thousands of families like mine who have faced the consequences of nuclear weapon tests. Today, having experienced all the hardships associated with the cancer, I strive to support all those who also face this disease. We have a whole community in which we try to morally and emotionally support those who have just encountered this problem, share advice, experience, and do everything possible so that people do not give up to this fear. Despite the fact that the Semipalatinsk Nuclear Test Site has left behind many problems, and one of the key ones is the rehabilitation of the affected population. With the return of the status of the regional center to the city, new opportunities and directions of social economic development of the region have appeared. The new Abai region has become more attractive for investors, cooperation in various fields, including the Center of Nuclear Medicine. I think perhaps joint efforts and collaboration will give a new impetus to overcoming the problems of the region. But most importantly, I am convinced that the tragedy and pain that my people have experienced and continue to experience due to nuclear tests should never happen again. People in the 21st century should use the energy of the atom only for peaceful purposes, for the benefits and progress and development. Thank you very much.
In your is the government this area of many affected communities?
So I do not know exact numbers, but what I can say, when I was diagnosed with this disease in 2015, there were a lot of old people who was ill with cancer. But last year I found out that this disease is getting younger and younger. I also would like to share that was the most difficult what I experienced these recent years, that I had my friend, and she was also sick with the cancer, and she got treatment during 5 years. But unfortunately she passed away. She couldn't overcome this disease, and I believe that also that this disease because of nuclear tests, the impact of nuclear tests, and also I see that I received treatment more than 8 years, and this disease that I cannot overcome for sure. This disease.
We released our national report. It is available on the TPNW website, and there are various estimates starting from 1.1 million people to 1.5 million. And the first number is based on the number of people who receive compensation. It is statistical data. Compensation for residing in Semipalatinsk region when nuclear explosions were conducted. Second number, 1.5 million, includes also second and third generation survivors. This is approximate number, but we need to look into that further, because as you can see that incidence of cancer grow in Semipalatinsk region. so they are also recognized as the second and third generation.
Ваше выступление. My name is Kyle Tucker, and I'm a Scoville Peace Fellow, currently based out of Washington, D.C. I actually lived in Kazakhstan this past year and visited Semay and saw the monument with my own eyes, and it was very touching. And my question concerns the future of, Abay Oblast and the people that live there for the younger generations. We talked about how the younger generations, will be affected, of course, but I'm interested to hear more about how the region is, moving beyond this very painful legacy and the opportunities for growth and development to help the children, the future generations within that area. Thank you so much.
And this is a difficult question because a lot depends on assistance, on government funding, on assistance from NGOs, or international community. It is not coincident that Algerim mentioned not only health impact, psychological impact, depression, anxiety, fear, isolation, and so on. There is a medical center, Algerim mentioned it, the medical and radiological and oncology center in Sydney. They're dealing with it. I believe they're doing a very good job because we borrow some statistical data from their research in our national reports, and they're very good professionals. What they really need is resources, meaning people, expertise, knowledge, funding, and we need everything. Semipalatinsk region needs everything in order to effectively deal with the current challenges and future challenges. We don't know what future challenges are actually because it is unpredictable. We need to consider it as a separate challenge and the future generations.
The International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War. Спасибо вам большое за ваш доклад. Thank you very much for your talk. I would be interested in, is there any collaboration with the Russian government, which is the legal successor, at least if it comes to the nuclear weapons? Do you have scientific support? Is there collaboration? Is there any financial support? Because you were victimized by the nuclear testing, and it was in the responsibility of Moscow rather than of
during the Soviet period, a special department of the Ministry of Health, USSR Ministry of Health, was stationed in Semipalatinsk region, and they were charged with monitoring of health status of local residents and military personnel stationed in that region. They accumulated a vast amount of data, which they shared with our specialists and experts. And as far as I know, there are joint collaborations, joint projects with Russian institutions and universities on the impact of radiation. So at the level of scientific research, collaboration is there.
And financial support?
Financial support, usually it is, if there is a joint project, it is co-sponsored by both sides.
No compensation, that's what I have in mind. No any kind of financial compensation.
Compensation was paid by the government of Kazakhstan. In 1993, a law on Semipalatinsk region was adopted, providing one-time compensation to every person who was eligible to compensation. They who lived during their testing and got affected. And there have been no compensation from the Russian government.
Yes, sure. If you allow me, I will add. I think it's important here to separate, because your question covers two blocks. First block is cooperation with Russian Federation on demilitarization and cleanups with the former Semipalatinsk Nuclear Test Site in Kazakhstan, cooperated with Russia and US when we closed the secret operation Sapphire, when the plutonium was removed from Kazakhstan to US and etc. But from the side of social, economical and health, there is no cooperation between countries. Even to my mind, it's my personal opinion, why we say, for example, the first president of Kazakhstan said that there were 456 nuclear explosions. Agyerim, your state presentation said 470 something. We do not know exactly the number because the figures were, it was counted by Soviet Union, and now we don't know the exact numbers. We are not for sure. This is the problem.
Yes, when I said that information was shared, it was medical data that was shared, not information about the number of tests conducted, the nature of those tests, and so on. It is a military domain, and that is still area to be explored.
Publication called Spoiler Alert. And I'm just interested in, picking up from these questions that we just heard about the Russian Federation. And I know that they didn't give an explanation in the General Assembly of their vote against the resolution that the Kazakhstan and Kiribati put forward. And I'm just wondering if you have hopes that Russia will engage with the Article 6 and 7 process in the future, and if there's anything more that you're hoping from the Russian Federation in terms of information exchanges and other sorts of technical assistance. Thank you.
I'm also coming from Kazakhstan, and as citizen of Kazakhstan, I may ask my government to say, do you have any plans to make Russia fake what they did during the Soviet occupation?
First question, we know that after each meeting of the state parties of TPNW, all five nuclear powers issue similar statements that they do not recognize TPNW. They stress that TPNW undermines NPT, and they are not going to cooperate in order to implement any of TPNW provisions. It is clear, and it is also the position of Russian Federation. And I believe that's why UK, France, and Russia did not support the resolution on victim assistance and environmental remediation presented by Kazakhstan and Kiribati. Their position is very clear, but we are grateful to the United States and China who abstained. They did not vote against. That's a step in the right direction, I believe. Regarding the second question, I would not say that it was an occupation. We were part of the same country for 70 years. And although Semipalatinsk region happened to be the test site, and it have happened anywhere in any region of the Soviet Union. Some survivors in the documentary mentioned that they were unlucky to live in that area where nuclear testing was conducted, but it could have been any place in Kazakhstan or any place in other Soviet republics.
Are there plans, is it practical to try to remove topsoil, or is that just, is it practical, too expensive, and not adapting, or or I guess I could say mitigating action?
plans become reality when they are funded. Our experts divided actually the nuclear test site into 3 zones: less maximum security, medium security, and moderate security. The 3rd zone is available for release into public domain, for example. 2nd zone need to be cleaned, and the 1st zone should be cordoned, and no one should be allowed into there. But it requires a lot of resources and funding, and we are personally interested, we are invested in creating this international trust fund, because we need expertise, we need resources, and we need funding, international funding to deal with those issues. And this is just a part of the problem, because victim assistance is our priority.
The film I Want to Live On that you just saw will be available on YouTube soon, so you can Google, of course, the title I Want to Live On, or on our social media channel, SGI Owner will introduce a link soon. So I hope you will see the film again and share your thought on the comment as well. Thank you once again for your participation, and I would like to conclude the event. Thank you very much.